Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm feeling a little bit better. My allergies really aren't killing me all that bad. Doesn't mean that there's not gonna be coughing, stuff like that, sniffling, me pausing the video at times, because that will happen. I feel a cough coming on right now. Sorry about that. But yeah. Anyways, I wanted to make a video talking about anime series that I would love to make a comeback. And today I want to talk about two anime series that I love. I freaking love. They're one of my two favorite anime series. And I have a lot of favorite anime series, but these are two of them. Especially two of them that I think could come back and make a very good comeback. It doesn't feel like something that's forced or anything like that, but they can actually make a legitimate series. And I'm going to share some of those ideas that I have, for these series. So the first one is Michiko and Hatchin, or, Michiko and Hatchin, which is a anime about two Brazilians. Basically, the two protagonists is Hana and Michiko. And I would say that even though it's called Michiko and Hatchin, Hatchin being Hana is probably more of the main protagonist than Michiko is. Because if you notice a lot of animes, during the anime, when they do their split, the story more follows Hana, and at the beginning, the story follows Hana more than it does Michiko. So basically, if you're watching this, you already know how the story goes. And me, like many other people, feel like Michiko and Hatchin had a complete story. It started well, excuse me, and it ended well. Got my bottle of water right here. It helped me because my voice starts to get cracky. When I talk too much, since my allergies are, pretty bad right now. But yeah, Michiko Hatchin for me had a complete story. But anybody who watched the anime completely and you saw the end, it still makes you kind of want more. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because yesterday, what motivated me to make this video was yesterday I was on some YouTube video. I can't remember what it was, but somebody had the picture of Michiko in their avatar, and I started talking to the person like, "Oh man, I love that anime and stuff like that. I would love to see it come back, make another season." And she's like, "Yeah, me too, but I don't know what the plot could be about." And I told her I have a few ideas what they can make the second season about, or maybe even a couple seasons, who knows. But Michiko Hatchin is one of those animes that is episodic, and it's an adventure. You know what I'm saying? It never stays in one place for too long. It's always moving. And my idea for another season will definitely keep that feeling of movement, progression and stuff like that. Maybe even a little bit of, a few setbacks, but still you feel like you're progressing. At the end of the first season, Hatchin, they show Hatchin many years later. You're guessing it's somewhere like 5 to 7 years later. Because Hatchin, or Hana, she's much older. I would say I can't remember what her age was at the beginning of the series. But she had to at least be 10. I would probably say she was probably between the range of 10 and 12. But at the end of this series, she at least looked like she was a teenager. So I would probably say that she was 16 or 18. But so this was many years later, after the whole ordeal of Michiko trying to get her to her father. That's a great anime. And at the end, of course, Hana is much older and she has a baby. Now, a lot of people are probably like, okay, if they did make a second season, I want them to go back a little, and tell us what happened. Who was this person that Hana fell in love with? Because obviously she fell for somebody, she got pregnant, or maybe it was a complete mistake. Maybe she got drunk, had a one-night stand, something like that. We kind of missed out on a chunk of Hana's life. So I wouldn't want the series to be based off of that, but I would like if they did come out with a second season, touch back on what happened in the previous season a little bit, and maybe touch back on Hannah's situation with her baby's father. You know what I'm saying? That would be something very interesting to, to see who is this person. Maybe he got killed, or maybe he ran off like Hannah's father did. It would be very interesting to, get to explore that. Give me one moment. Okay, so I'm back. I had to pause real quick. That would be something very interesting to, to see, what happened there. But they could definitely make a second season based on maybe Hannah trying to provide a better life for her child. Based on them trying to leave because most of Brazil is poor, poverty. Look at Hannah's situation. She grew up in poverty. Same thing with Michiko. And I think they could definitely build a plot out of Michiko's past coming back to haunt her, because we know that Michiko was living a very, a very gritty life when she was young. We know that her and Hannah's father were involved in some things. Michiko obviously was. I believe she was in a gang at a certain point in time. She's a little rough rider, so she did her little dirt. I could definitely see them making something about Michiko past coming back up to haunt her. Maybe she was affiliated with some gangs in the past. Maybe she owes them money, and they're finally coming out to, to get their money back or to do harm to her. And of course, we know Michiko doesn't have that money. I mean, even though Michiko is a classy, sexy, badass woman, she looks good. We know that she doesn't have money. You know what I'm saying? So it would be nice. That's definitely something they can do. Make it that maybe a gang is coming to look for her, and they know that she has a daughter, so they're like, hey, if you don't give us this money, we're gonna kill you, we're gonna kill your granddaughter, we're gonna kill your daughter. And that can really give them motivation of trying to get out of there. And now they're going through an adventure of probably trying to raise money to give to the cartel, but then they're like, wait, hold up. Instead of using this money to give to the gang or whatever, let's use this money to try to provide a better life for your baby. Maybe Michiko comes with that idea, like, wait, Hannah, this is not your problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you out of this country. I'm going to get you to the United States to where you can have a better life. Something similar to the first season of how Michiko was basically her protector, trying to get her to her father. Even though Michiko is her mother, she didn't really have a mother and daughter relationship with Hannah all like that. Her main focus was trying to get her to her father. Well, in this season, her main focus is trying to get Hannah and her baby out of the country, because Michiko and Hannah wants a better life for Hannah and her baby. So a lot of adventures can brew from this, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they take the illegal route of going to the United States. Maybe they're trying to get money so that once when they're on the road, Hannah can start a life in the United States. Especially since this is the era of illegal immigration, and there's a lot of, social issues with the whole thing. This can probably bring a little bit of light to it, because this is in, Latin America, and even people from Brazil come up here illegally, via train and stuff like that. And there's a lot of dangers and adventures that come with that whole thing. And they could definitely make a second season off of that. I could definitely see them making a season based off of, Michiko's past coming to haunt her. Michiko wants to protect Hatchin, or Hannah, and her baby. And the idea that they come up with is, come on, let's provide a better life for her, because Hannah and Michiko don't want her baby to go through the same thing Michiko did when she was young, and the same thing with Hannah when she was young. They both went, if you watch the anime, they both went through some crap as kids. So I could definitely see them pulling off a second season. And one, that'd be hilarious if they did do that, and come to find out at the end of the season that Hannah's father is chilling in Miami or something like that. That would be hilarious. Because remember, he did get on a plane at the end, and if I remember correctly, they didn't really say where he was going. They were just basically going to a better place or whatever. That's what they were supposedly supposed to be going. And her dad was a punk. But like I said, they could definitely touch on Hannah's situation with her baby's father and stuff like that. That'd be very interesting to know about, what happened there. Sorry for the heavy breathing. I am congested right now, so I'm up here breathing all heavy and everything like that. But yeah, I would love to see that. I mean, I really would. And I know a lot of people would too. But the possibility of that happening is very slim, especially when it comes to anime, because I don't know how well Michiko and Hatchin did in Japan. But usually when shows don't do too well in Japan, they never come back. I don't think I ever heard of an anime that didn't do so well, but then gained like a big cult following after that. They was like, hey, you know what? Since we know that there are fans all around the world, let's revive this show. I never heard of that happening. I know that they make like HD remasters and stuff like that. That's not good enough. I want a new fucking season, stuff like that. And I'm not sure how well it did in Japan. I know that Japan, they are very picky when it comes to anime. And I'm not trying to, make fun of Japanese or anything like that, but they're very picky with their anime, and they like certain types of anime. And I know that usually when there's not a white-ish male as the main protagonist, they really don't receive those type of animes very well. What I mean by white-ish is the typical white-looking anime character, even though we know they're Japanese. But I would definitely love to see a second season, or maybe even 3 seasons, of Michiko Hatchin, because I love the anime. It has a great vibe. I love that adventure feeling. And Michiko Hatchin definitely has that adventure feel to it. And of course, one of the people who helped create this was the same person who created Cowboy Bebop and Space Dandy. 2 shows that I really love. Especially Cowboy Bebop. I really love that show. But I'm gonna pause it for a second so I can drink my water and stuff, and so I can get myself under control before I talk about the next anime that I would like to see make a comeback. So the other anime is Outlaw Star. I'm sure you knew that just because of the title. I may put it in the title, I'm not sure, because I want to make like a little series of animes I would like to see make a comeback. But the other one is Outlaw Star. This has to be one of my all-time favorite animes. Especially one of my favorite science fiction anime series. I would love to see this show make a comeback. The possibility of this making a comeback is even more or less likely than Michiko Hatchin, because Michiko Hatchin came out in 2008, and they released the English dub here, I think, like in 2012, I think it was, or 13. I can't remember what it was. But Outlaw Star has been out of commission for almost 20 years now. It's now 2016, and Outlaw Star came out in 1998. I'm not sure if that was in the U.S. or Japan, but I think it may have been Japan, because they didn't air Outlaw Star here until like 2000 or something like that, and that's when I started to watch the series. So yeah, it's been a long time, and from what I read is that they were actually going to come out with a second season, but they ended that just because at the time Outlaw Star underperformed and it didn't do so well in Japan. So they decided to scrap the second season, which is fucking... I hate it. I'm mad because it happened. But it's understandable why it happened. So, yeah. But it's crazy because Outlaw Star has one of the biggest cult followings out of all the older animes from the 90s and stuff. And a lot of people would love to see a return of Outlaw Star. Now, I have a couple ideas of where they could take the second season or the next season, whatever. I'm not sure what their idea was for the second season, but whatever that is, they could definitely do that. Whatever it was, they could definitely do that. And then this one, my idea could probably come later. But this is just ideas, something that they can do, if they ever heard it. Like, yeah, oh, that's a good idea, you know what? But I doubt that would ever happen. But if I were to make a second season, it will pick up much later than their adventures in the first season. My, if they were to, for my idea, it would take place somewhere from like 10 to like 15 years later, to where they're much older. Gene is much older. He's a rugged guy now. He has a beard. He's very experienced in bounty hunting and, space travels and his adventures and stuff like that. Of course, Jim, much older. He's an adult now. Melfina, still the same, because I don't think that, that they can. I don't think that, because she's basically a robot. She's a cyborg, or I forget what they call them. But she's not human. And I don't know if she can get older, because her and Henry McDougal, I think that was the younger brother's name, they were both cyborgs, and I don't think they can get any older. So, of course, she will still look the same. And in this season, Aisha will still be affiliated with the Outlaw Star, but she will be now like a high-ranking general in the Qatar Army. She regained her place back in the Qatar Army, and she's no longer full-time writer with Outlaw Star, because even though she was with Outlaw Star, she kind of wasn't. She kind of did her own thing. It was only until the end that she really became like a full-blown member with Outlaw Star, because at first she was trying to capture them. Then she got abandoned by the army, and they felt sorry for her, so they let her ride with them. And it was kind of like an off and on thing. She did her own little thing. And I think it was like in this episode, the giant ass roach in the sewer, or maybe that's a wrestling match. I'm not sure which one that is. She was kind of like doing her own little things while they were having their adventures. She was having her little side adventure. But in this one, many years later, she's high-ranking officer in the Qatar Army, and she helps Gene out. You know what I'm saying? Like in this season, she can help Gene out. She can give him leads. She can even give him assistance when they need it, because she's a high-ranking general. You know what I'm saying? So she has a lot of information. She has a lot of resources at her hands, so she can help him every now and then. And Suzuka, in this story, I kind of want them to touch back a little bit, go back a little bit, because if you notice in Outlaw Star, Suzuka and Gene kind of had a thing with each other, and if I'm correct, I believe that they slept together. I can't confirm that, because it's been like a year since I watched the series. I watch it like every year. This is one of my go-to animes, but even though I watched it so much, I can't remember everything. But I think they slept together. I could have swore they slept together in one of the episodes. But anyways, you can tell that they have some type of feelings towards each other. And most people would like to see Gene and Melfina together, but to me, I think that Melfina and Jim had something going on between them. In a couple episodes, you see it. Especially the one episode when he's like snuggling all up on her and stuff like that. Kind of like a mother and son thing. But I could definitely see, like, with them being much older, Jim having some relationship with Melfina. And Gene, at this time, not having a relationship with anybody, but that he did have a relationship with Suzuka. And basically what this season will pick up on is Gene, getting a message from Suzuka, because Suzuka, she kind of distanced herself from the Outlaw Star for many years. She's finally, calling him, saying that she has something important to show him and to give him. She has something very important to give him. That's basically why she's calling him there. And this is many years later, after the adventures of, the first season. Give me one moment, please. Yes, like I said, this is many years later. And Suzuka, she retired from the whole assassination scene. She wanted to stay, she wants to stay far away from that whole thing. And Suzuka settles down on some planet somewhere, you know what I'm saying, to live a simple life. So they kind of lost communication and stuff like that. And after so many years later, Gene gets this random message from Suzuka. And he's like, okay, I gotta check this out. What is this? She hasn't talked to me in a long time. I want to talk to her, you know what I'm saying? So he goes to the planet. He goes to Suzuka's house. And Suzuka disclosed to him that there's something that I've been wanting to tell you for years, but I didn't want to tell you a long time ago simply because I felt that was too dangerous to tell you. So, she tells a young lady to come out of the room, and she introduced Jean, saying that, Jean, this is your daughter. I think that would be very interesting to add that type of element in there. That in one of their, affairs or whatever you want to call it, she ended up getting pregnant by Jean. And this is basically what she would tell him, is that, the reason why she didn't tell Jean that she was pregnant was, or that he had a daughter, was simply because of the life that he was living as a bounty hunter. And that, with organizations out there wanting to kill him and stuff like that, that'd be too dangerous for his daughter to be around her. And that he would understand that because, they wouldn't want their daughter to be endangered. Suzuka wouldn't want their daughter to be in danger, so she never told him that they had a daughter, and that's basically why she lost communication with Jean and the rest of the crew members on the Outlaw Star. I could definitely see that happening. And now Suzuka is telling, she's telling people to, she's telling Jean this now because she fears that her life is in danger and that her daughter's life is in danger. And that she has something very, very valuable that people want, and they want to kill her and her daughter for. So, and I would imagine that their daughter would be somewhere around like maybe 10, 12, 14, 15 years old, something like that, 12 to like 14 years old. And I think that'd be cool because it would add like a new element to the whole Outlaw Star thing, and it would definitely give a reason to have a second season. So after Suzuka tells, Jean that they have a daughter and that there's people that wants to kill her, that she wants Jean to take her daughter because she feels like there's going to be an assassination attempt on her life. So in doing that, of course, Jean, he goes back to the ship, tells, all the rest of the members what's going on and stuff like that he has a daughter, things like that. So, I don't know, they could do like a bunch of other things in this episode, but this would basically be the first episode to set everything up. So they come down, meet, talk, blah, 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 do whatever, put in some filler, whatever. But, I guess on like a final day, whatever, while Jean is preparing his daughter to, come and live with them on the ship, right at that moment, there could be like an assassination attempt to kill Suzuka. And in that attempt, Suzuka knows that it's time to snap into action. She gets her little old ninja samurai gear together. Well, not samurai, but her old, I don't know what the hell you would call her gear. Her little kimono and stuff like that. She pulls out her old sword and she's ready for action. So, while they're there, she gets sense that they're on their way. She tells Jean and her daughter to leave. She says, she asks Jean to promise to protect her daughter, to never let anything happen to her, and to take this item that they want. And really, the only person who understands the importance of this item will be Suzuka and maybe even the daughter. So, in doing that, the assassins come, they try to kill Suzuka. Of course, Jean and the daughter escapes because Suzuka fights for them. She tells them, don't stay here, just go. I'll fight them off. And in doing that, Jean and the daughter makes it back to the ship. And basically, they get a message, like I would say like a day later, or 2 days later, a couple days later, maybe a week later, they get a message from Suzuka saying that, thank you, Jean, for taking my daughter, taking our daughter, protect her, protect the item, and that she loves her daughter, and that she may have always loved Jean, something like that. And then the message cut out. You hear shooting, stabbing, stuff like that, and that's how that message ends. So Jean, not knowing if Suzuka had died or lived or anything like that, so that'd be like a great mystery, something to find out to the end. Did Suzuka die or did she live? You know what I'm saying? And then just trying to find out, because they can build a whole episode off of this item. and what his daughter has to do with this item, and Suzuka has to do with this item. Maybe this item has great importance. Maybe it's worth millions of oolongs. I think that's what the money was called in the show, oolongs. Hundreds of millions of oolongs. Maybe it's something that can unlock a feature and maybe even more powerful ship. Or maybe it's something miraculous, something crazy. It could be something amazing, and they could build the whole series off of that, of Gene trying to find out what this item is, and who are these people who want it, and who are the people who kill Suzuka. Revenge for Suzuka's death. And who knows? Maybe she's not even dead. Maybe you find out at the end of the season that she's not dead, and that could be a start to season 3. You know what I'm saying? That's just ideas. These are just ideas. You know what I'm saying? But they could definitely, if they wanted to, and they pulled the money to do that. I tell you, if I were a millionaire, I'd be like, look, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fund these animes. I want these animes to come back. We're going to fund it. If I had a couple $100 million or a couple mil, give me like $5 million. I would revive so many freaking animes, man, that deserve a second chance. Because Outlaw Star, in my opinion, deserves a second season. I know that there are literally millions of people who agree with me. Maybe not agree with my story or my ideas or whatever, but that they would love to see a second season. And oh my god, people will go crazy everywhere. Look, I don't even have cable television because we're in the age of the cable cutters where who still has cable television? I mean, you can basically watch everything online, whether you got Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is that you got, Amazon. You can basically watch everything online. But if they were to only show it on Adult Swim, Toonami, I would pay for cable in a heartbeat. I would get cable television in a heartbeat. Yeah, but that would be something nice to see. I mean, they could definitely, kind of hit my controllers. They could definitely make another season off of Outlaw Star and Michiko and Hatchin. I would love to see those animes make a great comeback. If any of those did have a chance of having a comeback or have the possibility of being to have a second season, it would most likely be Michiko and Hatchin just because it's more recent. But if they did come out with another Outlaw Star, they couldn't fail because there's so many people who love the original series. The only way they would fail is if they end up like Boondocks. They stray from the original content, the idea, the universe, and get like not new writers, but get a whole new team because like in the Boondocks, the 5th season, I believe it was. I believe it was the 5th season. I'm not sure, but nobody really liked that season simply because Aaron McGruber, he wasn't in, creating the newest season. It just didn't feel like, it didn't feel like a Boondock series. And then some of the episodes feel like reruns. They feel like remakes of earlier seasons episodes and stuff. But, yeah, man. Outlaw Star, one of my all-time favorite anime shows. They could definitely make a new season. If not, they could make a movie. Oh my god! Either one, I'd rather have the series, of course, because it's much longer. You can put more content in it and stuff. But I would definitely love to see that. And my ideas, I think they could work, and I know for sure they could work in Outlaw Star, series because it opens so much adventure, especially the item thing. What is this item? What is this thing? What can this thing do? Why is it so important? And there could be so many adventures out of that. Sometimes they can have that random episode. They can have those random episodes in there that really has nothing to do with the plot of that season. But they could definitely do that. I gotta drink my water. And the same thing with Michiko and Hatchin. They have those episodes where it's random, it really has nothing to do with the story and stuff like that. And I think with my idea for that, they could definitely do that too, you know what I'm saying? They could definitely make another season for both. episodes. If they went with my idea, if they didn't have any ideas, they could definitely go with mine, and they will work, I think, pretty well. But yeah, that's all I have to say. And I would like to hear you guys. I would like to hear y'all feedback about my ideas, and I would like to hear your ideas for, if they came out with a second season, what would you like to see in your ideas and stuff like that for either series or even a series that I haven't even talked about yet. So I'll see you guys later. Take care. Peace.